I'm Raven the Swift. This is Warlord Kestrel, and today we're going to talk about a combat system that I use to describe timing. More importantly than the timing itself, this isn't necessarily about cadence. This is about the phases of a fight and how you can kind of use that as a reasoning for timing in your fights. So there's basically three phases of the fight. You have the initiating phases of the fight, where Dallas and I, or Kestrel and I, are away from each other. We're going to talk about the initiating part of the fight. So maybe it's like stepping in and hitting their hand, right? Or me trying to attack their arm. All it is really the first break of a fight, whatever starts our fight going, and then we enter into the exchange phase. The exchange phase is, don't move. So the exchange phase is I'm going to, once we've gotten past the initiating part, say we've gotten to here, and maybe they've returned a shot or something, or they block, and I step in again, and now we can hit each other in the body. This is the phase where things start happening, right? A lot of exchanges start happening, so it's called the exchange phase. And then you have the exit or the retreat, and that is going to be it can happen from either phase. It can happen from the initiation part or the exchanging phase, and it's just a degrading range. So a retreat can happen from, if I initiate, I don't like what's happening, and I'll retreat, or I'll initiate, maybe I'll come to the exchange, I don't like how this exchange is going, and then I retreat, or however I'm going to do that. The main thing about these, and why I want to talk about them, is because people tend to only operate in these phases, and they don't tend to throw attacks between them. People usually think this is very, not binary, but just straight progressive. And if you add counters into it, you get more attacks. As a smaller person fighting a taller person, it's important to use both of these phases. And as a taller person who's trying to keep someone off of you, it's important to use these phases as well. So by that I mean, typically what happens, people go by an attack block timing. So if I step in and initiate something, I try to hit Kestrel in the hand, typically they block, right? Normally there's a block and a return that happens, right? At this point, I go to an exchange, and there's usually an attack, a block, and a return. Sometimes we can mess, and then even with the disengage, if we're here, maybe he attacked me, I didn't like it, I try to back up, but I did so with the block. We're going to add counters into that. And what that looks like is, so instead of initiating with me, I'll throw an attack, right? And if I throw an attack, my opponent blocks, sweet. Now what I'll do is, I will make it look as if I'm going to come into this exchange phase, and I'm going to throw a counter as I come in if they try to do anything. Sometimes it's thrown as a combo. So a real common one as a lefty I like to do is, I guess I do it right-handed, I'll throw into their hand as my initiation. Say they did something, I'll throw a feint as I come in and throw another shot, which gives me another opportunity to attack them without actually being that close. I can actually just fight them at the arm. And really what is, I'm feinting as if I'm coming deeper to open up a target for me to attack at maximum range before I actually have to get closer. The same thing can happen in the exchange phase, where, say we got to here, and I throw a shot like this, Kestrel block and return a shot. Instead of me just blocking, I lose, technically I have an attack of opportunity here because he is attacking me. I meant to say this at the beginning of the video. The rule here is that you can attack your opponent anytime they are not threatening you. If I feel like if my opponent's attack isn't that threatening, I will just attack them. So typically what happens is I'll throw here, they'll attack like this. If I don't feel their attack is that incredible that I have to actually block, I will just throw another attack and leave my hand in the blocking angle that I need to do so. And it's typically throwing back body twice. So I'll usually come in, throw a back body, they'll block, and then I'll throw another attack as I'm coming to block. And this is really a counter. I'm not actually blocking. I'm countering as they're exposing themselves. Same thing happens with the retreat, right? So if Kestrel and I are fighting, and I want to retreat, and my opponent doesn't realize I'm going to retreat, and they're still ready to continue this exchange. Say we got like this, it usually happens when both fighters are fighting the outside like this, and they're like, oh crap, they're still worried about me, so they start doing this. And usually I'll throw an attack as I'm disengaging, and doing that, and now I'm out of range and I hit their arm, because they were still blocking. Sometimes it works even if they're attacking me, and I don't feel like their threat is all that good. Is if we're like this, and say they throw outside of my head, I can do that. I can back out. I basically bait them into attacking me as I'm backing out. I can block and throw into their arm as I disengage. So this theoretically gives you about double the amount of chances that you would normally get in a fight. It's not just I'm attacking, they're blocking, I'm going to block when they attack. It can be I'm going to counter as they're attacking, or it can be I can throw a combo as they're blocking. It allows me to just get more shots in. And I use this rule a lot. The rule being, again, I will attack somebody anytime they're not threatening me in a meaningful way. You should always attack somebody if you can. Obviously, the way that you have to look out for baits and stuff, but you should be planning that in your setup and stuff like that. That's all I have to really say about that, guys. Thanks for joining us. Bye.